Hi friends, welcome all. Today we all are here to discuss the potential of golf tourism. How golf tourism can be the game changer for Indian tourism industry post-COVID. So before we start, I've asked Mr. Rajan Sehgal, President IGTA, to introduce the panel. Rajan, over to you.
But first, let me thank Mr. Anil Sharma, the founder of Global News Network, for giving us this platform to raise our concerns and the way forward for golf tourism in India for coming future. Let me introduce the panelist, Mr. Anil Solankar, Chairman Oxford Group, who owns Oxford Golf Resort in Pune, one of the best golf courses in Asia. And Anilji is, one of the first one who has taken the lead to promote golf tourism. We did our first golf tourism conclave at his golf course. Then we have Mr. Karan Bindra, another passionate golf tourism lover, who is the director of K&A and also associated with DLF Golf and Country Club. Then we have Mr. Dhruv Pal Singh, a very quiet and calm but very serious promoter of golf tourism. He is the general manager of JP Green Golf Course. Mr. Kunal Singh, the committee member from Ramba Golf Course, the golf course which has a royal history. And we have Mr. Uday Marwa, founder of Premier Lifestyle Management, who specializes in golf events, road shows, promotion of India as a golf destination overseas, and he is also the honorary secretary of India Golf Tourism Association. So let us start the discussion.
Recommendation from Commerce Ministry to open up certain industry in phase manner. And whenever they start inbound, I'm sure they'll do it in phase manner only. So the need of the hour is to give a representation and explain them why they should allow golf first. What's your take on this?
The Golf Industry Association, Karan, and we are part of it. And we
Okay.
are now putting up a station allowing us to start the golf course. It may take time because for government it's not a priority. But we still feel that it is a sport which can restart. It can have distancing. It can have all the norms that is required for COVID, for this corona. So I think if it works, it works. Subsequently, it will have to be taken up in states separately because the government will just make a representation. But I think every golf course owner has local influence. We'll have to work with the local state authority to get the NOC to allow the sport to happen.
Uday, what's your take on this?
See, golf tourism and golf courses, opening golf courses would be, I think, two different topics. Golf courses open, I would suggest, agree with what Anil said. Golf courses and the golf game, the aspects are, there is nothing related, all the things, having one person in on a golf cart and the social distancing, they easily this is the only sport I feel which is quite healthy in terms of playing, and getting them permission to open a golf course should not be a problem for a government. And in terms of golf tourism, if we say, first would be always a domestic or a local tourism, local players playing, among in their own course, or courses where they are not members. Suppose Delhi golfers playing at JP or Noida or DLF or Classic, and then golfers in Maharashtra going down to Pune, Mumbai, playing the local courses. And then the second point would be to traveling within the cities to play domestic. And then the third phase would come where we can even think about outbound or domestic international players coming in India.
There has to be certain leverage, like one person per cart, or let us say no caddies, start operating on your own, or maybe even caddies to a certain extent to the sanitized situation. So all that angle has to be like a preamble which has to be written by the government or along with the GIA, which is also trying very hard to get a permission from the tourism department. Once that gets executed, I think tourism can restart, or golf as a game can restart in different cities.
Yes, Karan, do you think golf industry should have some guidelines to convince government to open up the golf courses first.
I think the golf industry as a whole must put together certain guidelines, which the way they see it, because obviously golf is a unique sport in many ways. Firstly, it's a non-contact sport. You're playing in large open spaces, which makes social distancing a de facto. It's already happening without having to say it. You're not really getting too close to one another. And playing golf and clubbing are two different things. So playing golf itself is a different thing, and sitting and in a restaurant or a bar of the other natures of a clubbing is different. So if we concentrate on playing golf per se, I think there are a lot of guidelines that we can formulate, which as the Golf Industry Association we are in the process of preparing a paper which can actually serve as guidelines to the entire Indian golfing community and to the golf courses. So I think with the kind of knowledge that we have in the subject, and knowing that certain areas, certain countries over the world are looking at golf and allowing golf to continue, that representation can actually help a lot of courses to get permissions to open up.
Dhruv, what's your take on this?
See, if we look at the entire scenario in a very practical manner, with coronavirus, being prominent in certain locations, not being prominent in certain locations, so how the entire thing is going to pan out? See, golf is definitely, we all know it's a sport which can be played with social distancing, but it does involve travel of people from one place to another. So how I look at it, how it will actually pan out, if you think practically, it is, see, golf courses like, say, for example, JP, located within a community, it may initially open just for the community where it does not involve travel. Then maybe later certain clubs, once they get the permission, may open only for the members because they know their members, where they stay. If someone's coming from a hotspot zone, he may not be, as it is, be able to exit his zone, but even the clubs will have to take their own precautions from the point of view of health and safety of the employees and the other members who are playing on the golf course. Once the situation eases a little more, then you will have people, traveling from maybe the entire city to come and play golf. Or then gradually you will move to intercity, a phase where people are moving from one city to another. It is going to take time. It is a pain, and amongst all this, health is definitely a primary concern. But what the government should look at, what the authorities should look at least in places where the problem is not there, or if the golf course is within the community, they should allow it, because golf has its other benefits in terms of physical and mental benefits to the people who have the privilege of accessing a golf course. So I think it's going to pan out in the next few months in this manner, where it will open for your vicinity, then gradually spread other way around.
Kunal, how important to have trained manpower at this stage?
At this present stage, manpower is a problem actually, because you don't have manpower, and retaining people on the course is not a option in a golf club like Rambagh Jaipur, because we don't have people who stay on the course. So we have made temporary arrangements for them to stay, and we are working with minimum manpower. And basically daily wages manpower is not available. Only the technician and greenkeeper is coming, the machine operator is coming, and the irrigation system is working. So it is working on bare essentials, but yes, the maintenance is happening, and we should be up and about whenever we are ready to open. Also, Ramba Golf Club, as Dhruv was saying, we are looking at it and going to give a representation to the government by saying that we have X number of golfers who we can track and get them tested. They can play without caddies, only on golf card, have limited number of tee off times to tee off, only have X number of tee times in a day. And once the next phase of lockdown is open, we would like to open the golf course to regular golfers so that they get an opportunity. And it also brings in a culture that people go out and they maintain social distancing very easily. It becomes a habit to them. Also, we have a good precedent like US, which has a maximum number of cases, but still in California, golf courses are open. In New Jersey, courses are open. even in Central Europe, in Hungary, Czech Republic, all these places, you have precedents where golf courses are open right now. So if we go to our government and say we will allow limited people to come in, provide the infrastructure for daily testing of members and employees who are coming in, I feel that we can get some uh, discount and early opening from the golf ministry.
Anil,
I can give examples of courses like mine, DLF, and Prestige, a couple of them. We've got a lot of automation. So, I mean, labor will always be available. See, the working class labor will available. It's the technicians and their trained staff, which is going to be the challenge. You have to look after them, you have to retain them. So, you know, we have a core team, which I have spoken to. They're all taking a salary cut and this and that for the next 6 months. There is no choice. And with an assurance that maybe in a year, if we come back to normal, we'll reimburse all that. So we've finalized that. We've closed it. We made sure they're maintaining it. They are maintaining it maybe at 30% level. But the moment every lockdown opens up, we'll again go all out and, you know, get things done because we have the manpower, the machinery, the electronics, everything to do all that, particularly courses which are lately developed. So, I mean, manpower will not go anywhere. Who is going to get a job anywhere? It's just the labor that's in challenge. But that you can get anytime again, I feel.
Yes, of course, if you have the facility within the golf course, it is the ideal to have as much manpower staying within your premises so that they earn, the industry runs. It's always good to have manpower available staying within your premises. And of course, having them tested, or if they've been in a particular area quarantined, for 2-3 weeks, which we all have been more or less now, have shown no signs. So it's a good thing. Unless someone's coming from outside to inside, that's what's got to be controlled. So trained manpower inside is definitely the ideal situation. That's exactly what we are doing. Also, the key people in terms of the golf maintenance are being made to stay inside. We provided them a facility, and like Mr. Anil Shirkar also mentioned, we have a lot of automation. So even with 2 people on irrigation, we're able to irrigate the entire golf course. And just 2 machine operators can cut the entire golf course also.
Hopefully by May and June, domestic will start. Do you think domestic players is going to make a difference initially? Once they open up, so they can travel within India.
Domestic will open immediately, and golfers as it is are the most open to travel, and they are ready to experience. They are most of the new destinations. Golfers go first. They come back, and they are the leaders in generating tourism for the whole destination. So they are always experimenting, and they would definitely travel immediately if they get an opportunity.
Karan, as soon domestic market opens, how do you see the movement of golfers?
Firstly, everybody would like to play their own golf course for some time, because right now golf is completely at a standstill. So I think it will be a very localized movement to start with. I think if people can get a feel of golf just playing at their home courses, that will be the first step, and for some time to come. Then also a lot depends on the travel trade in general. I mean, are airlines going to operate, and are they going to operate at full capacity? What are going to be the travel costs? How the hotels will start filling up? So when you're even talking about domestic tourism from one city to another, you've got to see that there are plenty of other factors to consider. I would say, I mean, to the best estimation that I can give at the moment, it's going to be, a number of months before, firstly, normal travel starts off, and then golf travel after that. So I think the first thing is for all golf courses to get busy with their own membership, with their own localized people who live around. And then, if it is the NCR, then, somebody living in Delhi could travel to DLF or JP, or, vice versa. But I think that the travel, intercity travel is some time away. That's what my feeling is.
Uday, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I also agree. The first step would be, players or golfers would be like to play their own club, or even, they can play around the city where they are living. and then post that they would love to drive around in a driving distance. For example, daily players might go to Chandigarh or Jaipur, and then the first phase of domestic travel would be for corporates, who are moving around, and for corporates from north going to eastern India or western India, and then playing the courses there. And then for I believe, I think personally, from October onwards, or November onwards, when the domestic golf tourism might come in, and then for say about 2021, people might think to travel overseas to play golf. But this is also, it's a very good time to reboot ourselves and think how we can grab the markets which was actually for inbound tourism. It's a big thing, because a lot of people who used to travel to China to play golf might also consider coming and skipping that destination and coming to India as a golf tourism. But again, that will be also again in 2021, nothing in 2020, I feel personally.
So what is the way forward?
Rephrase the question. Way forward, I don't think that for the next 3 months anybody can predict. That's number one. Number two, unless local travel first has to start. International travel is a long story.
True.
And even as a mindset, people who play golf are businessmen, corporates. They are going to be stressed any which ways for their day-to-day affair in terms of managing the business for the next 6 months. So the economy hit is going to be the major thing on your mind. How much the companies will allow them to play, allow them time to think about it, even if it's work from home. So I think these things are going to be challenges for us. I feel that 3 months down the line, we have a real picture when COVID actually controls, that we can see the future of golf happening at all. It will be monsoon time for us. So maybe again our season starts October, November. So
True.
monsoon is so heavy.
Dhruv, what's your take?
See, domestic tourism is going to take time. Like I mentioned, it's going to be in a phased manner. It will be within the locality first, then it will be within the city. Intercity movement is definitely going to take time.
What is the expectation from the government? What do you expect from the government?
See, safety is the priority, but yes, regions which are under control, they can start looking at opening that and giving permission. The local authorities can start giving permission. The state authorities or the local district authorities can look at giving permission to areas which are totally safe, secure, which are able to meet all the standards set by the government for social distancing and sanitization. That's what's going to be looked at for the next 2-3 months.
Great, thank you. Kunal, would you like to add something?
As a golf course, we are making a SOP for once we open, and we're going to provide that to everyone, in which we will be reducing the tee times which will be available every day. You'll have less time to book, and the number of rounds that you'll be able to play every week will be reduced. The employees and caddies will be tested every day. The temperature would be taken every day, and a log would be created. Everybody would be given a health card in the coming time, and depending on what guidelines we get from the government, the clubhouse and other services would be open after that.
Major impetus from all concerned, whether it's clubs or hotels or any other any other entity involved in travel and hospitality, will have to put in a lot of effort in training their people, because eventually everybody would want to go where there is good person-to-person interaction and where they see and feel comfortable in those spaces. So I think manpower training is going to be a huge point and a huge thing for everybody concerned.
Okay, the last word from you.
I also feel, as Kunal said, in Western part of the world, golf is considered as an essential day-to-day thing. So they have opened all the courses. But in India, it will take time. And, first people need to build in the confidence that they are, the way they are going is a place where it is healthy and safe. Only then, things will come back to normal.
So you were saying you're going to give a representation. What all you're going to include in that?
Yes. In fact, we just had a con call last 3 days, 2 days back, and I think by, let's say, the end of this week, a letter will be going to the Urban Ministry as well as Tourism Ministry as well as to the PMO office, allowing, explaining how this game can have social distancing, how it should be opened and allowed to be opened. Not only in terms of allowing the sport to happen, it's also allowing people to have a change, start getting out of their, this typical system, caught up situation that we are in, and allow maybe, and follow all the norms. There will be some rules which government may set in, sanitization, clearance. We'll have to do the training. We'll have to understand it. Cost will increase, but there is no choice. But I guess we are pushing every state government independently.
Rajan, do you see any behavioral change the way travelers used to travel before? Post COVID, your closing remarks.
As far as the future travel is concerned, it will be a totally different scene. The next travel will be a safe and responsible travel. People will be very selective whenever they travel. The size of the group, the destination, especially the golfers will be very selective because they want to play quality golf, 3-4 rounds of golf, a safe place, nice weather, nice hotels, good hygienic restaurants, spa, where they can use all the facilities. So I think the lots of countries, so called the paradise for golfers, will be losing their charm after this crisis. So it is the right time for India because they show the world that how they can tackle big crisis, being a such large great population of this country, but still they shown the best example to how to tackle this. But let's see, once this crisis will be over, I think India will be a great golfing destination because golf course is the most safest placed for a golfing holidays. As far as the social distancing, the environment very close to the nature, and the game of ethics. So I think we should all work together to promote India as a great golfing tourism destination.
Well, let me start. Let's hope, COVID runs away, with the climate and the whatever immunity that we have. However, government should come up with guidelines. We would love to follow them. We would love to maintain all sanitation processes that are there. We will promote the game a lot. In fact, at our golf course, we are looking at how do we start promoting, at the moment it starts, by giving attraction to golfers, by creating little tournaments, some fun events, some prizes and things like that, giving micro ovens at midday, packed meals, a lot of ideas. You see, I've taken them from Australia and things like that also. So yes, most of them would follow, or everybody would be similar. So the message to the government is start the golf courses ASAP. Allow us to follow your diktat, but let us open.
Karen.
I would say if you haven't already started playing golf, this is a good time as any. And as I always say, grass is greener on the other side.
True. Then
I would say, stay safe, stay healthy, and and from as soon the permission gets granted for golf, we would like to see most of our friends who we have not seen from at least like 3-4 weeks on the course. So, but for sure, tourism, when things get normal, travel then.
You are watching Travel World Online.